Most Jeep Wranglers don't die because of bad engines. They die because owners miss a few simple maintenance items at the wrong time. Today, I'll show you the only maintenance schedule you'll ever need, including the costly services most dealerships never remind you about until it's already too late. First up is your engine oil. Jeep tells you the 3.6 Pentastar holds 5 quarts of 0W20 full synthetic, and you can stretch 10,000 miles between changes. That's a lie the second you leave pavement. The JL holds 1 full quart less than the older JK did, which means your oil works harder and breaks down faster. Take it on a dusty trail, ford a creek, idle in summer traffic, and that 10,000-mile number turns into engine damage. Jeep's own severe duty schedule, buried deep in the manual, drops it to around 4,000 miles. The safe call for any Wrangler that actually gets driven is 5,000 miles or 6 months, whichever hits first. Use 0W20 in the JL Pentastar, 5W30 in the 2.0 Turbo, and 5W40 diesel oil in the 3.0 Eco Diesel. Torque the filter cap to 18 foot-pounds, not gorilla tight. Skip this and you'll fry the VVT system long before that lifetime engine promise pays off. And the second those tires hit dirt, they take an even worse beating than your oil. Now let's talk tire rotation. Wranglers eat tires alive. The solid front axle, the heavy off-road rubber, the lift kits, all of it loads your tires unevenly the second you drive off the lot. Rotate them every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, basically every oil change. Run a 5-tire rotation if your full-size spare matches, so all 5 wheels wear together and you keep a fresh spare on the trail. Lug nuts go on in a star pattern at 130 foot-pounds. Then there's alignment, which is the part most Wrangler owners forget about entirely. Every Wrangler needs an alignment check once a year, after any serious off-road trip, and always after a lift. A lift drops your caster angle below the factory 4.2 degrees, and that single number is what keeps your Jeep stable above 60. Ignore it, and you'll burn through a $400 set of 35s in 15,000 miles while your steering quietly turns into a nightmare. Speaking of nightmares hiding in your drivetrain, the transfer case underneath is full of fluid Jeep barely tells you to change. Number 3 is the transfer case. The transfer case is the box that actually makes your Jeep a Jeep. It splits power between the front and rear axles, and it runs on a little under 2 quarts of Mopar ATF plus 4. Jeep's manual only tells you to change it under severe duty, at 60,000 miles. That's way too late if you wheel. Real off-roaders do this fluid every 30,000 miles. The part nobody warns you about is water. If you cross a creek deep enough to touch the case, water sneaks past the seal and turns your fluid milky white. Once it goes milky, the chain and bearings start eating themselves within weeks. Pull the fill plug after every water crossing. If anything but clean red ATF comes out, drain it that same week. Any licensed ATF plus 4 works fine, Valvoline, Mobile, even SuperTech, because they all meet the same Chrysler MS 9602 spec. Don't let a dealer charge you $400 for what's basically a $25 fluid change. Now drop one level lower, because what's hanging off both ends of that transfer case is even more fragile. Next come your differentials. Your front and rear differentials are where the power finally hits the wheels, and they take a beating every time you off-road. Stock JL Sports run a Dana M186 up front. Rubicons get the meaner Dana 44 front and rear, called the M210 and M220. Both use 75W85 gear oil, around 1 quart each. JK Rubicons use Dana 44s with 80W90, and anyone towing should jump to 75W140 in the rear. Jeep's severe duty schedule says change them at 40,000 miles. Trail guys hit them at 30,000, every fall after summer trail season, or instantly if the fluid comes out milky. That milky look means water snuck in past the axle seal, and water plus gear oil destroys ring and pinion teeth in under 1,000 miles. If you've got a track lock limited slip, you need friction modifier in there too. Skip the additive on a limited slip and it'll chatter, then grenade. So once gear oil is sorted, your brakes are quietly hiding a much scarier problem. Now flush that brake fluid. Brake fluid soaks up water from the air every single day. That's not a maintenance tip, that's just what the fluid does on its own. 2 years in, even on a Jeep that lives in a garage, the fluid is full of moisture. That water lowers the boiling point, so when you ride your brakes down a mountain or after towing, the fluid boils inside the lines and your pedal goes straight to the floor. Wranglers see this worse because owners drag them through mud and creeks, then forget the brake system bathed in it too. Flush the whole system every 2 years with fresh DOT3 or DOT4. Skip DOT5 forever. It's silicone and it destroys your seals. A proper flush has to cycle the ABS module with a scan tool. Otherwise, you're leaving dirty fluid trapped right where it matters most. A $60 flush every 2 years saves you a $1,200 caliper job. However, all of this brake work means nothing if the part above your tires is loose. And that's where we hit the scariest item on this entire list. Quick pause. If you want to get the absolute most life out of your Jeep, check out my Jeep Longevity Guide. It's packed with maintenance schedules, troubleshooting tips, and proven strategies to help your Wrangler stay reliable for years to come. The link is in the description below. Number 6 is the killer, death wobble. This is the one that $30 million lawsuit was about. The way it happens is wild. Hit a bump at 50 or 60 miles per hour on a solid front axle Jeep, and a worn track bar, ball joint, or tie rod end starts a violent shake that won't stop until you nearly come to a halt. Real drivers have crashed because of it. Jeep settled the Reynolds versus FCA class action in 2023, covering about 1.1 million 2018 to 2020 Wranglers and 2020 Gladiators, with an 8-year, 90,000-mile warranty extension on the steering damper. There's a trick the dealers won't say out loud, though. The damper isn't the cause, it just hides it. The real cause is almost always a worn track bar bushing or a loose track bar bolt. Have a buddy rock the steering wheel a quarter turn each way while you watch the passenger side track bar mount. Any movement, even an eighth of an inch, means rebuild it now. Pop the hood after that, because one fluid in there has quietly killed thousands of Pentastar engines. That fluid is your coolant. Early 3.6 Pentastars built in 2011 and 2012, plus some 2013 models, had a left side cylinder head defect that overheated the number 2 valve seat and caused misfires. Jeep extended that warranty to 10 years and 150,000 miles, but only on the left head. Coolant is what keeps your heads alive, and Jeep changed the formula in 2013. 2007 to 2012 JKs use HOAT, the purple stuff, and need a flush every 5 years or 100,000 miles. 2013 and newer JKs plus every JL use OAT, and that goes 10 years or 150,000. These two don't mix. Pour them together and they form a gel that clogs your water pump and heater core in months. Use Mopar coolant or a verified OAT equivalent at a 50-50 mix with distilled water. Run plain tap water in there and the minerals build scale inside your radiator. So while you're under the hood, there's a tiny battery hiding behind your fender flare that fails faster than the main one. Number 8 is the sneaky auxiliary battery. If your JL has start-stop, you have 2 batteries, not 1. The main battery sits where you'd expect. The auxiliary battery, a small AGM unit called the AUX14, or sometimes AUX12 on newer models, hides behind the passenger fender flare. Its job is keeping your radio and electronics alive when start-stop kills the engine at a red light. That little battery fails fast, sometimes inside a year, often before 36,000 miles. When it does, your Jeep goes haywire. Dash lights, no start warnings, random radio resets, and in some cases the truck loses power while driving. Worse, a dying aux battery drags the main battery down with it, so dealers often replace both for around $800. If you're still under warranty, demand a free replacement. If you're not, the aux alone costs about $130 aftermarket, and the swap takes 30 minutes once you pop the fender flare. E-Torque Wranglers don't have this. They run a 48-volt system instead. Speaking of things that fail before you realize, your roof has a problem you can't see coming. Now let's protect that TOP. Whether you run a soft top, hard top, or freedom panels, your roof has rubber seals that dry out faster than anything else on the Jeep. UV rays cook them, dust grinds them, and pressure washers blast them apart. Once the seals fail, water pours into your headliner and your radio, and the freedom panels start whistling at highway speed. Condition every rubber seal every 6 months with a silicone protectant like 303 Aerospace or Gummy Flag. Never use silicone sealant, only silicone lubricant, because sealant cures hard and bonds your panels in place forever. When you reinstall the freedom panels, drop the passenger side straight down first, never slide it, then the driver's side. Latch the twist latches first, then the front latches. Tighten the screws finger tight only, because Gorilla Torque crimps the seals and creates the exact leak you're trying to stop. Soft top owners, wax your zippers with dry silicone or they'll seize and tear. One more thing on this Jeep can blow up without warning, and most owners don't even know it's there. That hidden killer is the front drive shaft. It's the front drive shaft CV joint. On a stock JK or JL, the factory shaft has a rubber boot wrapped around the front joint. Lift your Jeep more than 3 inches, and that boot gets stretched past its limit every time the suspension twists. Once it tears, grease flings out, dirt rushes in, and the joint runs metal on metal. You'll feel a violent vibration around 45 miles per hour, and if you ignore it, the joint can grenade and take the transfer case output shaft with it. Factory shafts use sealed U-joints with no grease fittings, so all you can do is inspect that boot every oil change. If you've lifted, switch to an aftermarket double cardan shaft from Adams, J.E. Reel, or Tom Woods. Those have Zerk fittings, and they need fresh, tacky grease. Lucas Red Tacky works perfect, every 3,000 miles. Put the transfer case in neutral, lift one front tire, spin the shaft to find the flat center Zerk, and use a needle tip adapter. Skip this, and a $600 shaft becomes a $4,000 repair on tow truck day. So, which of these maintenance items are you already doing, and which one surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe for more Jeep tips, maintenance guides, and money-saving advice. And if you want the complete Jeep maintenance guide in one place, check out my ebook linked in the description below. Click the video on your screen now to keep watching, and I'll see you in the next one.